Welcome to today's Explainer. We're diving right into one of the absolute most hotly debated topics in the entire world of video creation, building the ultimate camera setup for your project. If you've ever spent hours scrolling through gear reviews or debating specs on internet forums, well, you know exactly what I mean.
We all start by asking this exact same question. What is the best camera for filmmaking? Is the ultimate tool a massive high-end cinema camera used on Hollywood sets? A trusty DSLR that you've had for years? Or could it literally just be the smartphone sitting in your pocket right now? Well, the truth might actually surprise you. The reality is that truly incredible films are being made at literally every price point. Why? Because the magic doesn't live in a flagship sensor. It lives in choosing tools that serve your narrative. Gear always supports the story, never the other way around. So here's our roadmap for today. We'll start by talking about putting story over equipment. Then we'll break down the four main camera categories. After that, we'll look beyond the camera body, match gear to specific stories, and finally, help you avoid those classic beginner mistakes.
All right, let's jump straight into part one, story over equipment.
You know, it is so incredibly easy to get caught up in sensor sizes and codecs. But the most successful creators, they follow a very strict order of operations. You never start with the gear. You start with your story, you move into careful pre-production and planning, and only then do you allocate your budget to the equipment. Your gear choices should literally be dictated by the story you decided to tell back in step one. Moving right along to our second point, the four camera categories. Let's break this down a bit. On one end, smartphones offer unmatched run-and-gun agility. They are perfect for lightweight docks. Moving up a step, DSLRs and mirrorless bodies give you that crucial interchangeable lens system and fast autofocus, a real game changer for solo operators. Then, at the very top end, you've got your cinema cameras. These unlock massive dynamic range in RAW formats, but they absolutely demand dedicated crews and complex workflows. It's always a trade-off, right? Image latitude versus your own mobility. And here's the thing, today's computational photography can shoot absolutely stunning video. The real bottleneck is almost never the sensor itself. It's usually the operator's grasp of lighting ratios, intentional composition, and clean audio routing. Once you actually master those foundational elements, you can make magic with almost any device on the market. Which leads us perfectly into section 3, beyond the camera body. Look, buying a camera is really just step one, because a camera body simply doesn't work alone. Professional productions invest in a complete, interconnected workflow system called a production kit. Think about it. A top-tier camera body is entirely useless if it's out of power, shaking wildly, or capturing completely muffled audio. So you need the whole shebang. You need fast glass to shape your depth of field, solid tripods and gimbals for framing, and clean microphones for dialogue, plus lighting to actually shape the image. And let's not forget the unsung heroes here. Reliable high-speed storage, and extra batteries. We have all lost a perfect golden hour take to a dead battery, and man, it hurts. Remember, an audience might forgive a slightly soft image, but they are going to click away instantly if your audio is peaking. Okay, let's get practical with section 4, matching gear to your story. Instead of asking what the universally best camera is, you really have to ask what your specific story needs. Let's say you're shooting an interview documentary. You don't need wild mobility here. You want to prioritize controlled lighting and crystal clear audio captured directly into a stable camera. So the ideal setup? A reliable mirrorless camera locked off on a sturdy tripod, a high-quality shotgun mic pointed right at your subject, and a couple of LED lights to beautifully shape their face. Simple, elegant, and totally effective. But let's flip the script. What if you're shooting a fast-paced travel vlog? Lugging around heavy tripods and light stands is just going to weigh you down and make you miss the moment. You need ultimate mobility. In this scenario, a smartphone on a small gimbal paired with a wireless mic is absolutely the perfect kit. It lets you capture smooth, stable footage and great audio while, running through crowds or hiking up a trail. Conversely, let's look at a short narrative film. Here, the story requires incredibly strict visual control to evoke very specific, highly crafted emotions. This demands prime lenses for that cinematic look, a cinema camera with high dynamic range, a dedicated external audio recorder, plus tripods, sliders for dynamic movement, and a comprehensive lighting kit to meticulously shape the audience's experience. Do you see how this story dictates the gear entirely? Finally, let's wrap things up with section 5, avoiding beginner mistakes. To get the absolute most out of your budget, you have to avoid this classic beginner trap. Blowing your entire budget on a super expensive camera body and leaving absolutely nothing for stabilization or sound. A modest, affordable camera surrounded by a balanced ecosystem, good audio, proper grip gear, thoughtful lighting. That setup is going to outperform a bare-bones, ultra-expensive camera every single time. Ultimately, professional filmmakers are constantly evaluating their shooting conditions, their crew size, and their resources to make smart, story-driven choices. They know that while the camera captures the image, it's the lenses, the lighting, the sound, and the pre-planning that actually shapes the audience's experience. Like the quote says, "Great filmmaking is about making smart choices, not simply buying expensive gear." The camera is just the canvas, but the lens is your paintbrush. So before you head out on your next shoot, ask yourself, is your gear getting in the way of your story, or is it actually helping you tell it? Next time, we're diving into the fascinating world of focal lengths and how they completely alter the emotional impact of your shots. Until then, keep making smart choices for your stories, and thanks for joining me on today's Explainer.